Welcome to The Deep Dive. Today we're diving headfirst into a subject that, let's be honest, can feel like a bit of a complex maze. We're talking cryptocurrency. You've probably heard the buzz, maybe felt a little overwhelmed by just, the sheer amount of noise out there.
Really a lot of noise.
But our mission today, cut through it. We want to transform this seemingly complicated thing into something accessible, something actionable for you. Okay, let's unpack this landscape together.
Yeah.
This deep dive, it's built on a whole heap of really good sources, all aiming to be your practical user's guide to crypto. We're hitting everything from the basic tech underneath it all.
The foundations.
Exactly. All the way to the nitty-gritty of buying, selling, keeping it safe, and even, tackling those dreaded tax questions.
Always fun.
Always fun. The goal here is simple. Equip you with the knowledge to understand crypto, yes, but also to confidently engage with it. We want to take you from maybe knowing nothing to being an informed user, always focusing on safety, security, and, thinking strategically.
And what's fascinating here, especially with crypto, where information is just everywhere and often contradictory, is how systematically our sources break it down.
Right.
It's not just theory. It's giving you a clear path, practical steps, this kind of structured approach. It's absolutely vital if you want to get past the headlines and actually navigate this stuff with some clarity.
Couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
It's like we're building you a mental map.
Exactly. Turning this daunting frontier into something, navigable.
Okay, so if we're building a map, we got to start with the bedrock, right? The foundation. And for crypto, that is unquestionably blockchain. Now, when we talk blockchain, I want you to picture something. Let's call it a public record book.
Right.
But it's not just one book. Imagine a massive, constantly growing digital notebook.
Okay.
And here's the kicker.
Yeah.
This notebook isn't locked away somewhere. It's copied, distributed across thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands of computers all over the world, all synced up.
Globally distributed.
Precisely. And when something new happens, like a transaction, say, you send some crypto to a friend, it's not just written down in one place. These are synchronized updates.
Oh, okay.
That transaction gets checked, validated, and then written onto all those thousands of copies of the ledger pretty much simultaneously.
Right, so everyone sees the same thing at the same time.
Exactly. This constant global agreement ensures everyone has the identical latest record. No single point of failure. No central boss who can just, tweak the books. That's what makes it honest and really, really resilient.
And that whole distributed public record book idea, that's exactly what creates what we call a trustless system.
Trustless. Explain that. Sounds counterintuitive.
Well, think about traditional money. You trust your bank, right?
Yeah.
You trust the government, the payment processor to handle things correctly, keep good records, not mess with the ledger.
Yeah, you kind of have to.
With blockchain, that trust isn't in a person or a company. It's baked into the system itself, mathematically.
How does that work?
Math. It's all about mathematical verification. Those thousands of computers, they're constantly working together using really complex cryptography, complex math, to agree on what's real, what's valid, what gets added. This collective agreement means you don't need a central authority overseeing it.
So who does the verifying then?
That's where miners and validators come in. These are special participants on the network.
Yeah.
Depending on the blockchain, they use computing power or they put up their own crypto as collateral.
Okay.
In systems like Bitcoin, it's proof of work. Miners use tons of computing power to solve these complex puzzles. First one wins, gets to add the next block of transactions, gets rewarded with some Bitcoin. It's energy intensive, sure, but super secure because of all that computing power.
Right. I heard about the energy use.
Then you have proof of stake, which Ethereum uses now mostly. Validators stake or lock up their own crypto.
No.
That gives them the right to validate transactions. If they cheat, they lose their stake. It's generally much more energy efficient.
I see. Different approaches.
Yeah, but both fundamentally cut out the middleman. The system regulates itself. And once a transaction is verified and added, that's where immutability kicks in.
Immutability meaning?
Meaning unchangeable.
Yeah.
Each new block of transactions is cryptographically chained to the last one, like links in a chain, hence blockchain.
Got it.
Once a block is on that chain, the information inside cannot be altered or deleted period. Think about that. A financial record that's permanent, transparent, verifiable by anyone.
Wow.
It's not just a feature, it's the foundation of trust in these digital systems. It changes how we think about securing value, about verifying history. It moves us beyond systems that, well, can be changed behind closed doors.
Okay, so blockchain, this secure, decentralized, immutable ledger. Amazing tech. But where does cryptocurrency itself fit in? What is it, based on our sources?
Good question.
They highlight a few key characteristics. First, it's fundamentally decentralized. Unlike your bank account dollars, controlled by central banks and commercial banks,
Right.
there's no single government, no company in charge of, say, the Bitcoin network. It's run by users, participants all over the world.
Right.
That's core. Resilience against censorship. No single kill switch.
Very different from traditional finance.
Totally. Second, it's highly secure. And we're not just talking bank secure. This is protected by advanced cryptography. Think military-grade encryption. Makes it incredibly hard to hack or fake transactions.
The math again.
Yep. Third, borderless. This is huge. You can send crypto anywhere to anyone, no permissions needed, no crazy international wire transfer fees or delays. It just goes.
Breaks down financial borders.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And finally, it's generally fast. Bank transfers, especially cross-border, can take days. Crypto, often minutes, sometimes seconds, depending on the specific network. Speed plus borderless, that's a powerful combo for moving value.
Definitely.
Now, here's where it gets really interesting. We start comparing the OG Bitcoin with all the others, the altcoins.
Yes. Bitcoin versus the altcoins. Understanding this difference is absolutely crucial. Bitcoin, launched way back in 2009 by the mysterious Satoshi Nakamoto.
Still anonymous.
Still anonymous. It was the first cryptocurrency. It's still the biggest, most recognized. People often call it digital gold.
Why gold?
Because its primary design seems to be as a store of value. Like gold, it's scarce. There will only ever be 21 million Bitcoin. It's designed to be deflationary. Plus, it has this incredibly secure network behind it, massive adoption worldwide. It's kind of the benchmark, the digital reserve asset.
Okay, so Bitcoin, digital gold, store value. What of the rest? The altcoins.
Altcoins is basically the term for everything else, and there are thousands. Many are designed for different things, trying to improve on Bitcoin, maybe faster, maybe cheaper, maybe adding new features.
Like what kind of features?
Well, take Ethereum. It's probably the most famous altcoin. Its big innovation was smart contracts.
Smart contracts.
Think of them as self-executing agreements. The terms are coded right onto the blockchain. So if condition A is met, then action B automatically happens. No need for lawyers or escrow in the middle, potentially. This turned blockchain from just money into a platform for building, well, anything. Decentralized apps, or dApps.
Wow, okay, so programmable money almost.
Kind of, yeah. Then you have others like Solana. Its focus is on faster transactions, really high throughput, good for things like gaming or fast trading where speed is critical.
Speed demon.
Then there's Cardano. They often talk about lower fees and have a big focus on academic research, peer review, aiming for super secure, scalable applications.
So lots of different flavors.
Exactly. Which really brings up an important question for you, the listener. What do you need? Are you looking for that long-term digital gold type asset, or a platform to build on, or something for quick, cheap payments? It's not just crypto. It's a whole ecosystem of different tools and philosophies.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
It's not one size fits all.
Yeah.
Which leads us perfectly into the practical side. All this theory is great, but the big question for many is, okay, fine, how do I actually buy some?
Right. The first step.
Let's walk through getting your first digital assets. It starts with choosing a crypto exchange. This is your main gateway, your on-ramp, and picking the right one. Super important for your whole experience.
Crucial choice.
Our sources flag a few key things to look for. First off, ease of use, especially if you're new. You want something intuitive, clean, not confusing.
Absolutely. I don't want to be overwhelmed.
Platforms like, say, Coinbase or Gemini, they're often mentioned because they really focus on simple design for beginners. Makes that first buy less intimidating.
Good starting points.
Second, and this is non-negotiable, security. Look for two-factor authentication, or 2FA. That means a password plus something else, like a code from your phone app.
Essential layer of protection.
Yeah, and dig a little deeper. What's the exchange's security history? Any major hacks? How did they handle it? How much customer money do they keep offline in cold storage? That tells you a lot about how seriously they take protecting your funds.
Due diligence is key.
Third, currency support. Does it work easily with your local money, like US dollars, euros, whatever? Does it offer payment methods that work for you? Think about how you'll get money in and out.
Check the on-ramps and off-ramps.
Exactly. So recommendations. The sources generally point towards starting with the big established exchanges like Coinbase, Kraken, or Binance US, depending on your location, of course. They have history, large user bases, usually better security and support.
Generally safer bets.
And the warning is pretty clear. Avoid platforms with poor reviews or limited history. Treat it like choosing a bank. You want reliable, proven, secure.
Absolutely. And speaking of banks and security, once you pick your exchange, you're going to run into KYC.
KYC. Know your customer.
Exactly. Know your customer. This is pretty much mandatory now for any regulated exchange anywhere in the world. And it's important to understand why. It's not just the exchange being nosy.
Right.
Its purpose is to prevent fraud and comply with financial laws. Specifically, anti-money laundering, AML rules. It basically aligns crypto with the rest of the financial world.
So what does it involve usually?
Typically, you'll need to upload a picture of your government ID, driver's license, passport, and maybe take a selfie or a short video. It's usually automated, takes a few minutes.
Okay.
The key takeaway is that this is normal now. It's part of making crypto more legitimate, more secure, and integrated. It might feel a bit odd given crypto's decentralized roots, but it's a necessary step for mainstream access and legality.
Makes sense. A bridge between the old and new worlds. Okay, so you picked an exchange, done your KYC. Now the exciting part, funding your purchase. How do you get your dollars onto the exchange?
The on-ramp.
Usually two main ways. You can link your bank account, often via ACH transfer. Our sources say this is generally slower but cheaper fees. Takes maybe 3 to 5 business days for the money to show up.
The old banking rails.
Yep. But the fees are often low or zero. Good for bigger amounts if you're not in a rush. The other option, use a debit card. This is way faster but more expensive.
Instant gratification, but costs more.
Right. If you need to buy right now, a debit card works, but you'll pay a higher percentage fee on the purchase. So trade-offs.
Always trade-offs.
And here's a really smart pro tip from the sources for anyone starting out. Start with small amounts until you get used to the system.
Yes, please do that.
It's not just about risk. It's about getting comfortable with the platform, the process, how it all feels before you put serious money in. Little practice runs.
Absolutely crucial. And then, once that account is funded, it's time. Making your first purchase.
The moment of truth.
Our sources strongly suggest, for your first time, stick with the big ones. Bitcoin or Ethereum.
Why those specifically?
They're the largest, most established, easiest to buy and sell, generally less volatile than smaller coins, and available in pretty much every user-friendly exchange. Keep it simple initially.
Okay, good advice.
Yeah.
So how does it actually work?
It's usually super straightforward on these beginner platforms. We go to the buy section, type in how much you want to spend in your currency, like $50 or $100.
Right.
The exchange shows you the current price, how much crypto you're getting for your money, and the transaction fee. Always check those details.
These are important.
Very. Make sure it all looks right. Then you just hit confirm and boom, you're in the crypto game.
Just like that.
Pretty much. And that first buy, even if it's small, it's huge psychologically. It takes crypto from this abstract idea and makes it real, makes it tangible. It shows you it's not some dark magic. It's just buying something online, essentially.
Demystifies the whole thing.
Totally. It's empowering. You've taken that first step into managing this new kind of asset yourself.
Okay, brilliant. You've bought your first crypto. Milestone achieved. Now what if you want to move it? Send it somewhere else. Maybe to a more secure wallet or to a friend. This brings us to the wallet address.
Your crypto mailing address.
Exactly. Think of it like that. It's this unique public string of letters and numbers. Really long, looks complicated. That's the specific destination for a certain crypto on a certain network.
Public key derivative, technically.
Right. And the key thing here, our sources stress, is that because it's public, it's safe to share. If someone wants to send you Bitcoin, you give them your public Bitcoin address. No problem. It's designed for receiving.
Just don't confuse it with your private key.
Absolutely not. Public address for receiving, private key for sending and controlling. Never, ever share the private key.
Couldn't say it enough times. Which leads us to how to send crypto. And this is where things get, well, you need to be really careful.
Why the extra caution?
Because unlike your bank, where you might be able to reverse a mistaken payment, crypto transfers, they are basically irreversible. Once you hit send, it's gone. No takebacks.
Wow, okay. High stakes.
Very. So the steps are simple. Go to your wallet, click send, Easy enough. Then you paste the recipient's wallet address. Precision here is everything.
Right. Copy paste carefully.
Yes. And then this next step is massively important. Select the correct network.
The network. What does that mean?
Okay, think of it like different postal systems. If you're sending Ethereum, ETH, it usually lives on the Ethereum network. If you're sending, say, a token built on the Binance Smart Chain, BSC, you must select the BSC network when sending to the right address but on the wrong network. That's a super common way people lose their crypto.
Oh, wow. Okay, so address and network must match.
Exactly. Then you type the amount, double-check everything one last time, and hit send. But let's hammer home those safeguards again because they are critical.
Please do.
Safeguard number 1. Always send a test amount first. Don't just send your whole bag at once. Send like $1's worth. Wait for it to arrive, confirm everything is perfect, then send the rest. Why? Crypto transfers cannot be reversed. That small test can save you from losing everything to a typo.
That's brilliant advice. Seriously.
Safeguard number 2. Double-check addresses before sending. I know, copy-paste seems easy, but check the first few characters. Check the last few. One wrong character means lost funds forever. No exaggeration. Use QR codes if you can. They reduce typo risk.
Vigilance is key.
And safeguard number 3, we just covered it, but it bears repeating. Make sure the network matches or the funds won't arrive. Ethereum to Ethereum address on Ethereum network. Solana to Solana address on Solana's network. Get it wrong, funds gone. Poof.
Okay, test transaction, double-check address, verify network.
Yeah.
Got it. That's drilled in now.
Good. It really is that important.
So, okay, you've sent it, you did the test, checked everything twice. But it hasn't shown up instantly. You start sweating.
Yeah, that first time.
Don't panic. This is where blockchain confirmations come into play. When you send, the transaction goes out to the network. Miners or validators grab it, verify it, put it in a block.
Right.
But for it to be really final, secure, it needs confirmations. That means more blocks need to be added after the block containing your transaction. This process takes time from seconds to minutes, sometimes longer.
Depends on the network traffic and the block time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like our sources say 1 to 3 confirmations equals fast networks like Solana. Blocks happen super quick there. But for something like Bitcoin, which prioritizes security, you might need 6+ confirmations. And since Bitcoin blocks are about 10 minutes apart,
You could be waiting an hour or more for it to be fully confirmed.
right, the main point is more confirmations equals more security.
Yeah.
Each one makes it exponentially harder to tamper with. So if it's not instant, don't panic, just wait. The network's doing its job.
Patience is a virtue in crypto.
Definitely. Patience and double checking. Okay, so that covers moving crypto around. What about storing it safely? This brings us to crypto wallets.
Where you keep your keys, essentially.
Right. It's less about holding the actual coins and more about managing your private keys. We mentioned these before. They're like your super secret digital passwords. They prove you own the crypto and let you send it. Control the keys, control the crypto.
Couldn't be simpler or more critical.
Our sources break down wallets into 2 main types. First, hot wallets. These are online, connected to the internet. Think software apps like MetaMask, Trust Wallet, or even the wallet inside your crypto exchange.
Convenient.
Super convenient, yeah. Great for daily transactions, interacting with apps. But because they're online, they're inherently more vulnerable to hacks, phishing, malware. Good for walking around money, maybe not your life savings.
Higher risk profile.
And you have cold wallets. These are offline hardware devices, little things that look like USB sticks, like a Ledger Nano or a Trezor. They are designed for secure long-term storage.
The crypto vault.
Pretty much. They keep your private keys completely offline, isolated from the internet. When you want to transact, you connect it, sign the transaction on the device itself, then broadcast. Your keys never touch the internet. Much, much safer from online threats.
The gold standard for security if you hold significant amounts.
And this distinction, hot versus cold, leads directly to a really fundamental idea in crypto, the importance of self-custody.
Ah, yes.
The mantra.
You hear it all the time. Not your keys, not your crypto. What does that actually mean?
It means exactly what it says. If you don't control the private keys, you don't truly own or control the cryptocurrency. You're trusting someone else to hold it for you. It's the core principle of real digital asset ownership.
So how do the storage options stack up then in terms of control and risk?
Well, our sources are pretty clear. Keeping your crypto on an exchange storage is convenient, yes, but it's labeled risky.
Why risky? Because the exchange holds the private keys for you. You don't. That makes your funds vulnerable to hacks and exchange failures. We've seen big exchanges get hacked or go bankrupt. If that happens, customers can lose everything because they didn't actually hold their own keys.
Ouch. Yeah, I remember Mt. Gox, FTX.
Painful lessons. Now, a software wallet, a hot wallet, is seen as better. You control the keys, which is great, but it's still online, so there's still risk from malware or phishing attacks.
Okay, better but not perfect.
Right. And then the hardware wallet, cold wallet, is consistently described as the safest. It gives you complete control with offline security. Your keys are air-gapped from the internet. What's fascinating here really is how self-custody flips the script on finance.
How so?
For centuries, we've relied on banks, brokers, intermediaries. Self-custody in crypto puts you in charge. You become your own bank. It's huge financial freedom, but it also means huge personal responsibility.
Yeah, that's the trade-off, isn't it? Power and responsibility.
Exactly, which is why understanding and implementing essential security practices isn't optional if you're going down the self-custody route. It's absolutely mandatory.
Okay, let's hear them. What are the commandments?
Number 1, top of the list, protect your seed phrase. This is that list of 12 or 24 words your wallet gives you when you set it up. It's your master backup key. Lose your wallet. Seed phrase is the only way back in.
So how do you protect it?
Write down your 24 recovery words offline. Pen and paper, simple. Never, ever store it digitally. No photos, no text files, no cloud storage. Anything digital can be hacked. Some people etch it onto metal plates for fire waterproofing.
Okay, offline only. Got it.
Second, create backups. Don't just have one copy of that written down phrase. Store copies in multiple secure locations. Think a safe at home, maybe a bank deposit box, maybe a trusted relative's place.
Yeah.
Different locations protect against fire, flood, theft.
Redundancy is good.
Third, and this sounds obvious, but scams are rampant. Never share keys. That means your private keys, and especially that seed phrase. Anyone who gets your seed phrase owns your crypto. Instantly. If anyone ever asks for it online, it is 100% a scam. Keep private information completely offline.
Yeah. Assume everyone asking is a scammer.
Pretty much, yeah. And finally, if you're holding a decent amount, use hardware wallets for secure large holdings with cold storage. It's just the way to go. It takes the online risk mostly out of the equation. These aren't paranoid steps. They're what makes self-custody actually work safely.
Right. They turn the idea into a protected reality. Okay. Super important stuff. We've covered buying, sending, securing. What about the other end? When you want to turn that crypto back into, regular money.
Yeah.
Cashing out.
The off-ramp.
How does that work? Our sources lay out a pretty clear cashing out process. Step 1, transfer to exchange. You got to move the crypto from your personal wallet, hot or cold, back onto an exchange that lets you sell for fiat, like dollars. So you send it to your deposit address on the exchange for that specific crypto. And again, that warning pops up. Check the network matching. Sending ETH. Use the Ethereum network to deposit. Wrong network.
Funds lost. Yep. Still applies.
Step 2. Sell for USD, or your local currency. Once the crypto lands on the exchange, you use their sell function. Turn your Bitcoin or whatever into dollars. The cash shows up in your exchange account balance.
Simple enough, like selling a stock.
Pretty much. Step 3. Withdraw to your bank. Get the cash from the exchange to your actual bank account. You'll link your bank if you have it. Usually ACH bank transfer is usually free, but takes those 1-3 business days.
The standard way.
Or some places offer card withdrawals or wires. Faster, maybe, but almost always more expensive. Check the fees.
Always check the fees.
And step 4, simple but crucial. Verify completion. Just make sure the money actually lands in your bank account within the expected time frame, and that closes the loop.
From fiat to crypto and back to fiat. But as soon as you do that sell step, or even just swap one crypto for another.
Uh-oh, here it comes.
Yep, you've got to start understanding crypto taxes. This trips up so many people. The sources are crystal clear. Every time you sell, swap, or use crypto, it's a taxable event.
Every time. Even just swapping Bitcoin for Ethereum.
Even if you just swap Bitcoin for Ethereum, that counts, yes. Using crypto to buy pizza, taxable event. Earning staking rewards, taxable. Getting an airdrop, potentially taxable. It's broad.
Wow. Why?
Because the IRS considers crypto property, not currency. That's the key, like stocks or real estate. So when you dispose of it, sell it, trade it, spend it, you realize a capital gain or loss.
Profit or loss, basically.
Exactly, and you have to report that. Short-term gains held less than a year are taxed like regular income. Long-term gains held over a year usually get lower rates. But the reporting responsibility, That's entirely on you.
The tax man isn't going to figure it out for me.
Exchanges report some things, sure, but ultimately you're responsible, which means record keeping is absolutely vital. You have to track every transaction, every single buy, sell, swap, everything.
That sounds like a nightmare.
It can be. Sources say save your transaction history, download those CSV files from exchanges. Keep screenshots of big trades or wallet balances, especially for DeFi stuff where there's no central record, and back up these records securely. As they say, better safe than sorry, especially if you ever get audited. Without records, figuring out your cost basis and gains is impossible.
Okay, so how do you possibly manage all that?
Don't panic. The sources strongly recommend not trying to do this by hand. Use specialized crypto tax tools.
Software.
Yeah, services like CoinTracker, Coinly, or ZenLedger, they're built for this. They link to your exchanges and wallets to auto-track profits, losses, calculate everything, and often generate the tax forms you need. Seriously, they are lifesavers. Don't try to be a hero and do it manually unless your activity is super simple.
Good tip. Use the tools. So the big question there is, how do you stay compliant while playing in this new sandbox?
Diligence, understanding the rules, and using those tools.
Makes sense. Okay, beyond the buying, selling taxes, what about just general good habits? Our sources mention some general crypto practices for long-term success.
The strategic side.
One big one is dollar cost averaging, or DCA. This is described as a steady way to build positions.
Less stressful than trying to time the market.
Exactly. You invest a fixed amount, say $100 every week or month, no matter the price. Buys more when prices are low, less when high. Smooths out the ride. Takes emotion out of buying.
Disciplined approach.
Then there's setting profit targets. Decide before you invest when you'll sell some. Maybe at a certain price or a certain percentage gain. This helps remove emotion from selling decisions. Stops you getting too greedy or panic selling.
Lock in some gains. Smart.
And finally, just embracing long-term thinking. Crypto is volatile. Wild swings. Focusing on the long haul, the tech, the potential adoption over years that protects your peace in your wallet, helps you ignore the daily noise and avoid FOMO or FUD-driven mistakes.
Ride out the waves.
So what does this all mean for actually succeeding? Having a plan, sticking to it, staying calm.
Absolutely. If you want to stay in this game and actually win, achieve your goals, whatever they are, strategy is everything. DCA, profit targets, long view, these aren't just nice ideas. They're how you manage risk, control your own psychology, and make rational choices in a market that often feels totally irrational. It's about being deliberate.
Well said. And there we have it. We've really covered some ground today in this deep dive, haven't we? From the absolute basics of blockchain, right through buying, sending, securing, cashing out, taxes, even strategy.
That's a lot.
It is. But hopefully, breaking it down like this, following our sources, has achieved our goal. Transforming this complex beast into something you feel informed about, something you can approach with confidence. We really hope this deep dive empowers you.
And maybe a final thought, building on everything we've discussed, especially that idea of trustless systems and self-custody, what cryptocurrency represents at its deepest level is potentially a fundamental shift in financial control.
Back to the individual.
It's exactly. Away from relying solely on traditional intermediaries towards individual sovereignty, understanding all these practical steps, the security measures, the strategies, it doesn't just let you use crypto. It empowers you to truly explore this new frontier, critically, confidently, knowing what it really means to be your own bank in this emerging digital age.